Common denominators. Why do we need them, Ashley?
I'll tell you.
All right, let's find out.
What is a denominator? A denominator describes the size of the sample. If one denominator is larger than the other, then we have two completely different size samples. For example, 2/4 versus 2/8. The 2/4 represents 2 of the 4 parts, while the 2/8 represents 2 of the 8 parts. It's easier to get a common denominator so that the whole is divided into equal size samples.
How about another example?
Please show me.
Say you have two groups, 4 babies and 4 adults. How would you add these two groups together? You can't say that there are 8 babies, and you can't say that you have 8 adults.
Why not, Faith?
Because you can't have, they're not all babies, and they're not all adults. But if you use a describing word that they have in common, you can add them more easily. Doing it this way, you have 8 people instead of just babies and adults.
What about mixed numbers?
I don't know. What about mixed numbers? Tell me.
Mixed numbers work very similar to fractions as they have fractions in them. Let's use these mixed numbers as an example. 3 1/3 and 4 5/6. To add mixed numbers first, we get the whole number out of the way by adding them. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Now we can take the fractions and find their common denominator. 1/3 and 5/6 have the common denominator of 12, since both 3 and 6 go into 12. Now that we have divided both into 12ths, the fractions turn into 4/12 and 10/12. Now that the two fractions have been added together, we have some extra. So now, here we have 1 and 2/12. So now bringing the whole numbers from the beginning of the problem back, we added 1 and 2/12 to that. So 7 plus 1 and 2/12 would be 8 and 2/12. To simplify it even more, we can make 2/12 into 1/6. So the answer to the equation, 3 1/3 plus 4 5/6, is 8 1/6.
Now what about subtraction?
Tell me more.
So far, we've only talked about addition, but haven't yet touched on subtraction. Subtraction uses the same concept of needing the same size samples. For example, it's very difficult to figure out how to take 8/12 from 1 and 2/6 without the samples being equal. First, let's change the 1 and 2/6 into 1 and 4/12 to have a common denominator of 12. Now we can take the 8/12 and put it into the 1 and 4/12 to see how much to take away. And now that we've done that, we're left with 8/12. Simplified, that's 4/6. Simplified even more, that's 2/3.
So now it's time to review.
Please.
Why are common denominators needed? They are needed so that the whole of which fractions are taken from are the same size. If you keep this in mind, it makes adding and subtracting fractions as well as mixed numbers much easier. Thanks so much
for watching our video.